The 1950s and 1960s were absolutely pioneering times for science fiction and the paranormal in both TV and movies. But I have a special place in my heart for those great TV anthology series, like The Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. You might have thought I was going to talk about those great series, but I want to dive into some lesser-known anthology series today. Some you may know, and some you may have never heard of. But I think that all these shows deserve a quality comeback today. So, let's get into it. Fantasy, sci-fi, nostalgia, rerun zone. Tales of Tomorrow, 1951 to 1953. Imagine turning on your TV in the early 1950s, if you even had one at the time, and being transported to worlds beyond your imagination. Tales of Tomorrow did just that. When it premiered in 1951, it was one of the first to bring adult science fiction content to American television screens. It had thought-provoking episodes, often adapting classic works by legendary authors like Ray Bradbury's The Dune Roller and Arthur C. Clarke's The Crystal Egg. What made the show even more daring and exciting was that it was performed live. That's right, each episode was broadcast in real time, complete with bloopers and all. One infamous moment involved Lon Chaney Jr., who, thinking it was just a rehearsal, didn't destroy props like he was supposed to during a key scene, leaving the crew scrambling. It was this kind of unpredictability that gave the show its raw charm. While the special effects were definitely primitive, Tales of Tomorrow instead relied on strong storytelling to captivate its audience. It wasn't about flashy effects, but instead about posing questions about the future of humanity and scientific achievements. I'd love to see a modern Tales of Tomorrow reimagining using classic science fiction stories by great authors, and also more recent sci-fi tackling newer issues, and speculate about our future society and its dependence on technology and its hopes for a better future. Let's make a return to stories with substance and treat sci-fi with the reverence it deserves. Science Fiction Theater, 1955 to 1957.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Truman Bradley. Let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever seen a solid object suddenly disappear before your eyes?
In the mid-1950s, when the world was still in the dawn of the atomic age and the first glimmers of space exploration, a television series emerged that would bridge the gap between science fiction and hard science. Science Fiction Theater, which premiered in 1955, was that show. And it wasn't just another anthology series. It was a beacon for those who craved stories rooted in the possible, and sometimes the almost tangible future. Hosted by the suave Truman Bradley, a man whose voice had the weight of authority from his days as a radio announcer, each episode of Science Fiction Theater began with a promise. Bradley would introduce viewers to a scientific concept or an ongoing experiment, setting the stage for the story to unfold. This wasn't mere entertainment, it was an educational journey into the realms of what might be. The series itself was a true pioneer. While other shows like Tales of Tomorrow had ventured into the genre, Science Fiction Theater distinguished itself by its commitment to scientific accuracy. The producers didn't just spin tales, they consulted with real scientists, ensuring that the science fiction presented was not only entertaining, but also grounded in the scientific principles of the day. This approach made the show a unique blend of fiction and fact, where viewers could learn about the potential of telepathy, the mysteries of atomic energy, or the prospects of space travel. From stories about astronauts navigating the void of space to tales of mind-reading spies, Science Fiction Theater covered a broad spectrum of speculative science. Each episode was a window into a future that felt within reach, fueled by the real scientific advancements of the era. This series inspired a generation to look up at the stars or delve into the mysteries of the human mind, believing that science fiction could one day indeed become science fact. Today, with a resurging interest in space exploration, AI, and the dilemmas posed by advancing technology, Science Fiction Theater would fit right in. Its blend of educational content with thrilling stories could easily resonate with modern audiences who are both fascinated and fearful of the rapid pace of scientific progress. One Step Beyond, 1959 to 1961.
The amazing drama you're about to see is a matter of human record. You may believe it or not. But the real people who lived this story, they believe it. They know. They took that one step beyond.
Premiering 8 months before The Twilight Zone, One Step Beyond came on the scene with a new take on the supernatural. Its episodes were designed as docudramas and were said to be based on real-life stories. For a kid who believed in the magic of Ouija boards, or even the skeptic who loved a good ghost story, One Step Beyond was a treasure trove. Its blend of drama and documentary style made it feel like these stories could actually happen to anyone, anywhere, adding a personal touch to the terror. The show's popularity lay in this blend of entertainment with the plausible, making the supernatural seem just a little bit more real. If you're not already familiar with this show, it ran for 3 seasons and was hosted by the mysterious and melancholy John Newland, whose monologues added a chilling mood to each episode. Newland's narrations made it feel like you were watching a historical reenactment instead of just another piece of TV fiction. Some episodes even dramatized events that took place long before the show was created, adding to its authenticity. While One Step Beyond explored stories about premonitions, hauntings, and unexplained disappearances, it didn't shy away from controversy. One episode even had the show exploring the possibility that psychedelic drugs might be used to enhance a person's psychic powers. John Newland himself ate psychedelic mushrooms on camera in the episode to test their psychic effects. One Step Beyond might just be the eerie, thought-provoking anthology series that today's audiences would love, and in my opinion, it's ripe for a revival. After all, the allure of the supernatural remains timeless, always beckoning us to take that one step beyond. Out of the Unknown, 1965 to 1971. In the late 1960s, when the world was on the brink of incredible technological revolutions, a British anthology series emerged that redefined the landscape of science fiction television. Out of the Unknown, which aired from 1965 to 1971, wasn't just a collection of stories, it was an exploration of speculative themes through the lens of some of the era's most celebrated sci-fi literature. Authors like Isaac Asimov and John Wyndham lent their visionary tales to the series, which was known for treating its subject matter with a seriousness that was rare for the time. Each episode of Out of the Unknown was a standalone narrative, often delving into the complexities of space travel, the ethics of robotics, or the structure of future societies. Unlike many of its contemporaries, the show didn't shy away from the darker, more cerebral aspects of science fiction. It presented viewers with scenarios that were thought-provoking, challenging them to consider the implications of technological advancement on humanity. It was a show that respected its audience intelligence, offering narratives that were as much about the human condition as they were about the wonders of science. In an age where the line between science fiction and reality blurs on a daily basis, Out of the Unknown could once again serve as a mirror to society, reflecting our hopes, fears, and the complex interplay between humanity and technology. Its revival will continue its tradition of challenging viewers to think critically about the future and where we are headed. Journey to the Unknown, 1968 to 1969. This show is a British anthology series produced by the legendary Hammer Film Productions, known for its blend of gothic horror and sci-fi films. This series, however, ventures into a blend of suspense, psychological horror, and science fiction, setting itself apart with stories that often end with unexpected twists, much like The Twilight Zone. But Journey to the Unknown carved its own niche by emphasizing psychological depth and the human condition within its scenarios. The stories often hinged on the fragility of the human mind and the chilling consequences of our inner fears. The show's opening sequence featured an eerie amusement park ride with no passengers, and set the perfect tone for the strange journeys ahead. Each episode of Journey to the Unknown featured both British and American actors, and was designed to take ordinary people and place them in extraordinary, often unsettling situations. The series didn't shy away from exploring the darker corners of the human psyche either, making it a fertile ground for psychological horror. Episodes range from tales of time travel and supernatural encounters to the macabre and the bizarre, all wrapped in an atmosphere of eerie suspense. The series was short-lived, but took a unique approach to storytelling that really made its mark on viewers. The psychological horror was not just about external threats, but often about internal conflicts, fears, and the unknown aspects of one's own mind. Journey to the Unknown and its return could not only honor its legacy, but also expand upon it, making it a compelling addition to the modern anthology series landscape. Night Gallery, 1969 to 1973. Most of you have already seen or heard of this one, but I think it definitely deserves a place on this list. After the success of The Twilight Zone, Rod Serling returned to television with Night Gallery, an anthology series that took his signature style in a darker, more sinister direction. Though it's more horror-focused than sci-fi, its segments did explore themes of both, with time travel, alien contact, and dystopian futures. Each episode was introduced by Serling as he would unveil eerie paintings that hinted at the twisted tales you were about to see. One of its most famous episodes, They're Tearing Down Tim Riley's Bar, merged melancholy and time travel, illustrating how the past can haunt the present in heartbreaking ways. Another standout episode, The Messiah on Mott Street, explored the intersection of faith and extraterrestrial life, with a bizarre twist that left viewers questioning the nature of belief itself. The show was known for its ability to tell deeply unsettling stories, often leaving viewers with more questions than answers. With today's anthology dramas like Black Mirror and American Horror Story, Night Gallery would fit right in and offer a fresh take on the disturbing possibilities that lie at the intersection of fear and science. Out There, 1951. This last anthology on my list is really obscure, but I'm throwing it in because it was one of the first of its kind. Good luck finding any recordings though. It was recorded live on Kinescope, and there are no known copies left in existence. It's even difficult to find any images at all from the show. Out There made its debut at the dawn of the golden age of television, in the same year as Tales of Tomorrow. It was a serious attempt to bring adult science fiction to television. Airing on CBS, each episode was a standalone story and adapted works from acclaimed science fiction writers like Robert A. Heinlein, Ray Bradbury, and Theodore Sturgeon. It also featured actors like Leslie Nielsen and Rod Steiger, who later went on to become household names. It was canceled after just 12 episodes. The show was ambitious but hampered by the limitations of early 1950s television technology. It was a time when the idea of space travel was still largely speculative, and atomic energy was both a marvel and a terror. I think the concept alone makes this show worthy of a revival. What do you think? Did I miss any of your favorite sci-fi or horror anthologies? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're a lover of sci-fi, fantasy, and nostalgia, you're going to love it here at Rerun Zone. So hit that subscribe button on your way out. This is Rich from Rerun Zone. Thanks for watching, and good night.